Okay, next up, we're going to start with the near perfect scoring, 96, 98, 102. Those blocks are performing fairly well. Anybody should be happy with that kind of performance. You can do your math on your block value and get really close to what those blocks are delivering. You would feel confident in your compressor being lubricated by what you think it's being lubricated by. But I'm going to throw off one pressure and let's see what happens. Let's say this was a packing point that was much lower pressure than 2 cylinder points. After this averages the next 5 cycles, you're going to see the scoring change over here. And again, the pressure level is not the issue. If it was, relieving pressure on the system should make it perform better. But what's happening here is I've lowered this, which threw these out of balance. So even though it's working against less pressure now throughout these 3, it's going to perform much worse. And you'll see that shortly. Again, we're cycling at just over 12 seconds on our assembly. And notice how our gauge here has a high climb and it will drop noticeably when it's injecting into a lower pressure. See that dive there? You don't want to see any heavy sweeps like that on your gauge. That tells you that your loop system is working against differential pressures, which means that your blocks will not be delivering the amount of oil that you think they are. And you see here, we're already dipping here. This one's at 86% now. And all I did was lower the pressure on this bottom block to this one here. It's upsetting the circuit and causing the center block to short stroke and deliver less oil than expected. So now we're at 96, 88, and 101. Okay, now I'm going to bring this one down, relieve more pressure, which, if the pressure level was the problem, then relieving pressure should make it perform better. But that's not what will happen. Now we're working against less pressure overall. We still have a high point here, but significantly lower pressures here. And we'll see how this changes after 5 cycles. Or they dip into 82% here now. %. 78%. 74%. So now this is the center block because its pressure has upset this hydraulic circuit, and the oil is taking the path of least resistance throughout the rest of the assembly. It's allowing that piston to short stroke enough to where we're now at 73% delivery. We've lost over a quarter of the oil that was supposed to be going to that injection point, but you would never know it if you did the cycle time math with the face value. You would think that it's delivering 9.25 pints per day, which is what should be coming out of there, and yet only 6.36 pints per day are getting there, and we're at 68% delivery. So we've lost nearly a third of the output of that simply because of this mismatch of pressures.